watching this video, you already know that yes, I am indeed pregnant. If you haven't already watched my announcement video, also the vlog that I had to go along with the pregnancy announcement, and me telling Steven and me finding out, those will all be listed below and maybe up here somewhere, and you should definitely go check that out. This video is strictly going to be talking about my pregnancy bump dates, just because I have found watching these being just like the most useful thing, and I've honestly been addicted to it, because I'm a first-time mom. I don't know what to expect, and so it's been so useful for me seeing other women's experiences, and I hope that adding to this pool can help other women out there too. Update's gonna be for pregnancy week 4 and 5 using Baby Bump Pro, which is this app right here. It lets me know how far along I am and what to expect, which is just really nice and interesting. But the only difference is this app tells me that I am 5 weeks and 5 days right now, and my doctor told me I was 6 weeks and 5 days right now, but they both use the same LMP, so I'm kind of confused. And when I did it, I was 5 weeks and 5 days too, so I don't know, maybe she was tired, I don't know. But until I get the ultrasound back, not back, but until I take an ultrasound when we can actually kind of measure out the baby and see how the baby is developed right now as well. I'm not exactly sure where I am in my gestation. But for the purposes of this video, we're going to say that I'm 5 weeks and 5 days, and so this will be my 4-week and 5-week update. So I found out I was pregnant on Monday, and today is Friday, so I have known for 5 days, which has been a roller coaster of emotions for these past 5 days. At this point, I have not told my family. I plan on telling my mom, my brother, and my dad, and Steven's dad and his brother and sister-in-law when my mom is in Colorado with me. I'm gonna get my brother and my dad on Skype as well, so they can be a part of the moment where we tell the immediate family. And then soon after that, we plan on telling more extended family and friends that we're pregnant after we hit the 8-week point. And then once we hit 12 weeks, that is probably where we will go ahead and share this news with everyone else. So how I got pregnant, obviously Steven and I were not using any birth control, or not obviously, people can get pregnant using birth control. It is not often, and it's generally due to user error and nothing of the fault of the birth control. But I was not on any hormonal birth control or blockage type of birth control, although I am a big proponent of it. Unfortunately for me, hormonal birth control, I learned early on, was not a good option for me. And while I do know there's different IUDs out there, or one IUD out there that uses copper and doesn't use hormones, I was told that may not be a good option just because of the shape of my uterus, that it seemed like it may not stay in place. So I decided not to go for any of that. I'm also allergic to latex, and so there are non-latex condoms out there, but honestly that gets expensive. And me and Steven are married. We openly talk to each other about our sex lives. We got tested frequently, and so it was not really a concern for me. I was not trying to get pregnant. I actually have ovulation sticks, and along with my period app that I use to track my period, which I track like a hawk, I was also using ovulation sticks to track when my ovulation was, so I could avoid having sex on those dates, which has actually worked out for us for the past 3.5 years. So when I found out I was pregnant, it was a shock, because we were not trying. I was doing everything that I could to avoid it, and it still happened. But we're still very, very happy for the little baby, and Yeah, I feel like the more I start to process it, the more and more excited I get. But at this point, I still don't really feel very pregnant, and I think it's because of the symptoms that I have been experiencing and the lack of symptoms I've been experiencing. Most of the symptoms that I was experiencing, especially in week 4, which was the week we came back from San Diego, have actually been the same symptoms I experience when I have PMS. So again, I didn't really think much of it. So I was experiencing some mild to slightly severe back pain, which unfortunately is a very common PMS symptom for me. Cramping in my uterus and ovary areas, which again is another symptom that I generally get because I typically get ovarian cysts, so it's very common for me. My boobs started to swell a lot. I got mild acne, which is something like real, like 1 or 2 pimples. That's generally what I get, which I call like, it's a big deal to me, but other people say it's not. But that's a big deal for my skin, so that's another reason why I know that my period's coming. I was developing some cravings, but they were very light cravings and they were sporadic. Week 4, it was chocolate. You guys probably saw the vlog where I'm just like, I need brownies. And I made brownies, but I was kind of maniac about it, or manic about it, and that's kind of how those cravings go. I'll be really, really manic, I'll get it, and then it will subside. I also had really, really dry lips, cotton mouth, shortness of breath, which I'm sure you guys have seen in this video, because I feel like anytime I talk, I just have to take a deep breath in and then like keep going, and very vivid dreams. Yeah, oh, I did have a really awkward craving. I wrote this down after here because it was so funny, because Steven reminded me of it. We were driving back from Seattle to Pasco. I just had like this strong craving for pickles, and I'm just like, I need dill pickles, like I want them and I'm going to get them today. It's like, we have to stop at the grocery store before you get home because I'm going to buy a jar of pickles. And he's like, you sound like you're pregnant. I'm like, no, I just sound like I'm PMSing, because like, I used to hate pickles when I was younger, and then my sorority sister introduced me to pickles like 2 years ago, and she's like, you have to try it, and then I fell in love with them, but I don't eat them frequently. I only really eat them around my period, so it's another reason why I thought my period was coming, because I'm just like, pickles! As soon as I got the jar, like I ate 2, and then I'm like, I'm done. That leads into the symptoms that I've been experiencing for week 5, which is my oily skin continues, sore breast. They went from being just swollen to now sore, and it feels like there's like rocks in them. Lack of appetite, unless like I get one of those craving spikes, like I just really am not interested in eating. Light spotting after sex, but that dissipated like within about 12 hours. I'm a bit more emotional than I generally am. I'm generally not an emotional person, but I've been feeling really emotional lately. I have tons of energy at this point, and kind of like temperature swings. Like I'll go from feeling extremely hot to feeling super cold, and it's no, the other way around. Feeling super cold like I generally do to feeling super hot, which is something I'm not used to, so it just makes me feel like, what's going on? I am still working out, which is great, but because of the shortness of breath, I'm having kind of a hard time with it. So I used to work out 3 days a week for about an hour to an hour and 20 minutes or so, and now I still am trying to do 3 days a week, but it's been cut down to like 20 minutes. Like if I go over 20 minutes, like I cannot breathe. And the workouts I've been doing haven't been strenuous at all. I'll do the elliptical until I hit a mile on it, which is generally in about 6 minutes or so, and then I'll use the rest of the time to do really light weights and some resistance training and stretches, just so I can keep my body active and limber. So I was really focused on losing weight for the past couple of months, and so I'm actually starting off pretty close to the lowest weight that I have been for my adult life. I'm starting off at 155 pounds. 155.3 pounds is what I'm starting off at. It's that I've been losing weight, I think is what I was trying to get at from when my pregnancy would have first started, because when I got back from San Diego, I was 158 pounds when I got back from San Diego, and I would have been 3 weeks pregnant at that time. And so I've lost a bit of weight since being 3 weeks pregnant. And when I talked to my doctor, she said honestly I'll probably be losing a bit more weight before I start to gain weight, because of the fact that I've been on this weight loss journey and my aversions to food at the moment. I'll probably end up losing weight before I gain weight, and she said that's also quite natural with a lot of women who experience morning sickness or food aversions. So yes, I am a vegetarian, eating mostly vegan at the moment. I know like a lot of times when I go out, like I'll post things like with cheese and milk and things in it, but I generally eat about like 90-95% vegan most of the time, and then a small percentage of the time I will go ahead and eat dairy products, which is the reason why I do not call myself a vegan. I was actually vegan for 6 years, but when I live with people who aren't even vegetarian, a lot of times it's just easier for me to be vegetarian instead of vegan the entire time. That said, I still plan on carrying out the majority of my diet for the entire pregnancy. I have been vegetarian for my entire life. I can't even eat meat without getting sick. Like, I've always had a terrible stomach aversion to meat. Like, me and meat have never mixed, and so there is no way I'm going to be adding meat to my diet. When I talked to my OB and when I've talked to a nutritionist before in the past about the possibility of being pregnant, it's always been said like adding anything to your diet that your body just does not like is a bad idea. So yes, I will be vegetarian this entire pregnancy because that's just what I eat. And I will be mostly vegan during this entire pregnancy. I'm honestly not that worried about it because there's a lot of iron in green leafy vegetables, which I eat all the time, and you can get your complete proteins from rice and beans. I don't think there's anything else I really want to update you guys on. We are looking into different hospitals and birthing centers right now in the area, since we are going to be giving birth in the area. Our baby is due on either 22nd or 23rd of January, but as I have found out, babies never come on their due dates, so I'm not really holding tight to that date, but sometime in January is when we are expecting our baby. I'll probably do my next update at either 6 to 7 or for 7 to 8, and hopefully I'll have an ultrasound by then. Oh wait, no, I probably won't. Unless I can get in for an ultrasound next week, I probably won't, because we actually go to Denver that day, and of course I'll bring you guys along for when we tell our family. But I'll try to do these about every 2 weeks. I think that's the right amount of time. But yeah, at this moment we are just scared and we're really excited, and also just really blessed for this opportunity to be parents to this little baby inside of us. And I'll keep you guys abreast of what happens. Pray that everything goes well. I know that as soon as you hit like 6 weeks, your chance for miscarriage decreases, and then when you hit 9 weeks, it decreases down to 10%, and when you hit 12, it decreases to 3%. And so we are just hoping to get through these more challenging times very quickly with no incident. And yeah, so I'll show you guys my stomach as it is right now. So bloated, you guys. Like, I feel like I kind of look pregnant right now, and it's all bloat. Like, it's literally all bloat. Apparently, if you don't drink through a straw, you won't get as bloated, but I like my sippy cup. This is the only way I can drink this much water, is through a cup, or else I would need to, like, you know, and I just can't, especially in the middle of the night. Like, I wake up in the middle of the night to drink water. Like, it's ridiculous. guys, that is it. If you are currently pregnant right now and you're around the same stages that I am, please let me know what you're going through. Like, oh my gosh, I have no one else to talk to right now who's currently pregnant at the same time I am. Of course, if you're not pregnant at the same time I am, but you're still going through things, I still kind of want to hear like what you're going through. Like, oh my goodness, congratulations to you too. If you're not pregnant but you're still watching this and you have any questions or just want to talk, I'm really open about everything. So yeah, go ahead and start a conversation with me below. I've been thinking about opening up a Twitter for the longest time now, because I feel like it's more of an appropriate way to be active with you guys. Like, the comment section is cool, but I'm not always on there, especially when I'm out and I'm just doing things. So I might start a Twitter, get a Twitter account, something like that. I don't know. You know, if you think that's a good idea. Anyway, I'm gonna jump off of here and I'll see you guys in the next update. Bye!